This
Start.
conference will now be recorded.
Okay, it is recorded and you can see. And for this PLSQL developer, do the practice because all are it's nothing but programs only. Okay, I think we deal with these control structures, right? How many control structures? Three types. Okay, row by row, sequential, conditional. Next one is loop. Okay, and we done this, right? Thank you, Ishwar and Anil, all of you, about this. How to find out leap year? It should be divided by 4 and should not divided by 100, or else it should be divided by 400. Here it is a case. We discussed case also, and I have given this to you, right, as assignment. If 1 to 12, 1 to 12, 1 to it is winter, like that. Grade values. Again, it is excellent. Select command PLSQL. Here, from here, it is important. Okay. Previously, these are all nothing but just programs like any other language, C, C++, Java, .NET, to find out addition of two numbers, greatest of two numbers, or Armstrong number, or okay, palindrome number, like that. But here, if you see, if you want to store, can you hear my voice? My voice is clear, all of you? Ishwar,
Clear,
Anil, okay, okay,
clear.
okay, okay, okay. In SQL statement, we have to write down like this: select, mention the field name from table name and where condition. In PL SQL block, what happened is we have to select fields. That's okay, but we have to store those values, column values or field values, in some variables, into variables. That is the thing. Here we do not have this part in SQL, into variables. Okay. For example, write a PLSQL program to select department details from department table. Okay. I want to find out department details. Department details means department number, department name, and location. In DEPT table, we have three columns: department number, department name, and location. Okay. But in PLSQL, we cannot directly retrieve or fetch the values directly. We have to fetch the values and we have to store in some variables. So I need variables. Here I have three columns: department number, department name, and location. So here I need three variables to store. For example, if you want to retrieve employee name and salary from EMP table, at that time you need two variables: employee name, for one variable for employee name, one variable for salary. Okay, and you have to mention data type. Here department number is nothing but number, and department name, it is a name like sales, marketing, execution, like that. Location also, it is a character like Dallas, Hyderabad, Pune, Bangalore, like that. Then we have to print, nothing but output, so we need output statement. Okay, this is the thing. As I said you, okay, before execute any PLSQL block, what we have to do? We have to set server output status to be on. It should be on. Okay, otherwise it will execute the program, but it does not give the output. Okay, here if you see, I'm selecting department number, department name, everything. Where department number A, where department number A. For example, department number 10. It will give only one value at one time. Actually, we have 3 or 4 departments. In the EPT table, we have 4 departments. Enter the department number value. If I enter 10, it will give the 10th department. Accounting department, it is stored in New York. Again, enter department number 20. So if you see, it will give only one value. One value for A, one value for B, and one value for C. Why? Because variable store only one value at a time. If you see here, one value for A, department number, one value for B, department name, one value for C, which is nothing but location. So every time, whenever you store values in a variable, it stores only one value at a time. Okay. If you want to store multiple values, at that time we should use loops. Okay, na? Actually, see, if you retrieve like this, EPT table, see here, we have 14 rows, 14 departments. But each time it will give only one department information, which I am giving as a output. Either it is 20 or 10, whatever. Okay? Hmm. Okay. That is the thing, major difference. In PLSQL, we have to store all the columns values in some variables. Then only we can display. And at a time, it will display only one value. It store only one value. Okay. See here, write a PLSQL program to select employee name, employee number, salary, and department. So here I need 4 variables: employee name, employee number, salary, and department. From which table? From EMP table. So I need, okay, one variable for employee name. You can name it as anything. You can name as a XYZ, ABC, or name, or whatever maybe. But it should not be column name. Here, what is the column name? Employee name. It should not match with the variable name. This variable name should not match with the column name. Okay, na? That is the thing. That's why see here. Here the column name is salary. In EMP table, what is the column name? Only sal. It is not salary. It is only sal. Okay. So these are the variables: name for employee name, E number for employee number, salary from salary, D number for department number. This variable name should not be same as column name. Otherwise, it will give the error. Okay. And it need not to be same as a data type of column. Okay. Maybe there is varchar to 20. Okay, but here you can take 10, no problem. Okay, but it should not be less than. Why? Because we have some values which are more than that. Okay, here I am selecting employee name, employee number, salary, department number. This should be same as column name. Why? Because I am retrieving, right? Into Okay, so employee name should be stored into name variable. It is a variable. Okay, employee number, it is stored in E number variable. There in EMP table we have sal. It is not salary, it is a SAL. Column name is SAL. That salary column value stored in salary variable. Here we have department number. It stores in D number. From which table? From EMP. And again, in PLSQL, we can store only one value in one variable. For example, name. We can store only Smith. We cannot store Smith, Ward, Allen, King, everything, everyone in one time. Okay, that's why in PLSQL we should use where class. If you don't use where class means it will give the error. It will say too many rows are there or too many values will be fetched. The error is too many values fetched or too many rows are fetched. Okay, so that will be the error. So what we have to do? We have to use where class, and it should be only one value. It should be only one value. Okay, where employee name is equal to employee name, so it will store all this value into that particular employee. And if you want to print, this is the output statement. Okay na? Good morning, Sangeeta. Happy
Good
Independence
morning.
Day.
Thank you, sir.
आज आनंद जी अटेंड नहीं करे शायद रे. Employee name, and it should be case sensitive. You see, Smith information. Smith, his employee number, his salary, and his department. Okay. For example, if you see, instead of employee name, if I write down department number, okay. See, I'm fetching from department number. For example, if I enter 10th department, there are more than one employee, and in each department, okay, then it will give the error. You see, instead of employee name, I'm fetching. It is called fetching. I'm fetching from department number. You see, I'm fetching from department number. Enter the value, department number 10. See here, the error is exact fetch returns more than requested number of rows. More than requested number of rows. Why? Because this variable store only one value at a one time. But here department number 10 means it fetch more than one value. For example, you see select email comma salary from EMP where department number is 10. You see there are 3 employees in 10th department. Okay, so it cannot fetch 3 values at a time. Okay, that is the disadvantages for this. To overcome this, they have loop system. मैं क्लास ले रहा हूँ बाद में. Okay, this is about, okay, yeah. Write a PLSQL program to select sal grade details. Sal grade details. You know, we have one sal grade table. You see, we have five rows, five grades. Okay, if salary is between 700 to 1200, the employee is in grade 1. His salary is in grade 1. Okay, here also we need G for grade. Here we have three columns: grade, low sal, and high sal. Here also I need three variables: G, L, and H. G for grade, L for low salary, H for high salary. And I'm selecting these three column values into these three variables from this and from grade. From grade is equal to 1 means it will give the this information. If grade is 3 means it will give this information. Okay na? Yes. PL is a little bit easy than SQL, because in SQL you have to write queries and do practice on functions and joins, subqueries and everything. Here it is nothing but just programs. If you know the logic, just do the programs. Okay. Grade 4, which is nothing but 2001 to 3000. You see, grade 4, 2001 to 3000. Okay. Sir, you can ask me, sir, directly we can execute SQL query, right? Select to grade, select to start from sal grade. Then what is the use of this PLSQL? Why? Because we need the value of grade G in somewhere in our program. We need the low salary value, which is L, which is stored in L variable. We need somewhere else to do some manipulation. We need H variable, which stores high salary values. Okay, na? For that purpose, we are using PLSQL. Next one. Write a PLSQL program to accept department number as argument. It is nothing but like function, and return department location. So whenever I want to enter department number 10, it will return what is the location of the department or what is the department name, like that. Okay, declare. So here I need only one variable, D number, which is nothing but department number. So I have to give at the runtime. You see, I have to give at the runtime this department number. So I want to retrieve department number value, and it stores in D number. Okay, here I have to give the value whether it is a 10, 20 or 30. If department number is 10, then the location is New York. If department number 20, then the location is Dallas. Else if, okay. In else if, most of the people they write E also, but it is not E, it is ignored. It is ELSIF. Okay. If it is else space if, then we have to write E, but here no need. Okay. Next, if it is department number 30, then location is Chicago. Else means if department is other than 10, 20, 30, which is nothing but 40, then location is Boston. Okay. And here we do not have roster brackets like this one. There in other languages like C, C++, Java, it indicates beginning of the program or function. It is the end of the function or program. Here you have to write down literally. End if. It is nothing but it is ending the if loop. Next end. End means it ends the main function, which is nothing but start from begin. Okay. enter the 10th department. So location is New York. It does not display department number. It display only this text which we are writing in the output statement. Again, if you want department number 30, which is nothing but Chicago. So location is Chicago. Okay. See here, you have location, department number 30, Chicago. 10th department, New York. We can retrieve directly like this, but we cannot use this location value in our program, right? We can directly retrieve by using the select statement or SQL query. But can we use this research value in our program? No. We can research this operation value in our program? No. We can use Boston value in our program? No. That's why we need one programming language. That's why we need one programming language. That is nothing but PLSQL. Some people called it is a PL means programming language. Some people call it is a procedural language. Okay? Next, if you want to use as a case, it is nothing but if else, right? I'm using if else statement to execute my program. Okay. If you want case statement, okay, this is the syntax. Case, you have to mention variable like value. Okay. Case 10 when like this. Okay. You see, again, I retrieve department number value and store in d number variable. Okay. Here it is a comparable or column name or variable name. In the marks list, if you want to give the grade, you have to write down marks, case marks. When greater than 70, distinction. When greater than 60, first class. When greater than 50, second class. When greater than 35, third class. Else fail. Same like that. When it is 10, the location is New York. When it is 20, location is Dallas. Okay. When 20, 40, location is Boston. Else part, we can use else part. Else part means which is nothing but invalid department number. We have only 10, 20, 30, 40. If you execute, if you mention 50, it will give invalid department. If you give 2 or 5, it will give the invalid department, because we have only 4 values, 4 departments: 10, 20, 30, and 40. Okay. Okay. This is about uh, if classes, conditional control structures, if else case like that. Now it is a repetitive, which is nothing but we can call it is a loop, repetitive control structure. We can allow to create the loop. Okay, there are three types. In C language we have for loop, while loop, do while loop. Here we have simple loop and while loop and for loop. These two loops common in every language, whether in Python, Java, .NET, C. These two, while loop and for loop, are common. This is exclusively for Oracle. Simple loop. Okay, na? Simple loop, which is nothing but exit purpose. Exit purpose. It is nothing but like do while loop. Do you know the difference between while and do while if you know the C language? In while loop, first it will check the condition. If condition is true, then only it executes the statement. But in do while, what happened? First it executes the statement, then it check the condition. Okay, na? That is the thing. Here simple loop also it is same as like do while. First it will execute the statements, next it will check the condition, next it will check the condition. If this condition is true, again it will execute this statement. Okay, it will execute until the condition is false. Okay na? This is, in Oracle we can call it as a simple loop. In C language, Java, .NET, Python, it is called do while loop. Do while. Okay. In while loop, if you see, in while loop, it will first take the condition. If the condition is true, it will execute the statement. But here, it first execute the statement, then it check the condition. And here it is it should be false condition. Here it should be true condition. Okay, na? That is the thing. It exit when condition is false. It enters when condition is true. Okay, that is the difference between simple loop and while loop. Next one is most 90% we are using for loop only. That meant for variable, whether it is I or n or x, whatever may be. In, we should mention the lower boundary and high bound. In C language we are using, right, I is equal to 0, I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus in C language. In C language, if you remember the C language, if you know the C language, it is I is equal to 0, I less than or equal to 10. If you want to print anything, okay, 10 times, okay, then we are using this type, okay. It should be equal to 0 first starting initially, and it should be less than 10, and every time it will increase by 1. So next time it is I value is 1, next I value is 2, okay, until I value is 10. When I value is 10, 10 less than 10, condition is false, so it will already prints 10 times. It is in our procedural language like C, C++, Java, .NET, Python, we are using like that. But in Oracle we are using like this for variable, in, and you can use reverse also. Like here we can use I is equal to 10. It is reverse, first I value is 10, and here it is a decrement value. Next I value is 9, I value is 8, until I value is 0. When I value is 0, 0 greater than 0, condition false. Same like that, we have reverse keyword. Reverse means from high boundary to low boundary. If you don't mention, it is nothing but optional. This symbol is nothing but indicates this syntax is optional. This keyword is optional. Okay. If you mention reverse means it will take from high boundary to low boundary. Okay, na? So these are the every iterative, repetitive statements or loop statements. For example, I want to print 1 to n. N means which is given by us at runtime. Okay. For that purpose, I need one I value which is nothing but increment and display value. N, up to how many numbers I want to print the numbers. Okay. Next begin. So I am giving the n value at the runtime. This means it is a runtime. Ampersand is nothing but at runtime we can give the values. Loop. So it will print I. Initially the I value is 1. Okay. Here in Oracle we do not have increment decrement values. We have to give outside the for loop. In C language or Java or Python, all the three parameters, initialization like this one, I is equal to 1, and condition, and this one increment or decrement, we can give in one statement only. You see, initialization, condition, and increment and decrement. Here in Oracle we have to mention separately. First one is initialization, okay, condition, and increment. Okay, na? That is the thing. First I value is 1, so it prints I plus 1. You see, it is a simple loop, right? It is like do while. So anyway, it will print first time, even though the condition is false. Even though condition is false, it will print one time also. Okay, it will increase I plus 1. So 1 plus 1 how much? 2. So it will check the condition. Okay, if I mention 10 here, so it will print up to 10. Okay, 10 value. If I write down 10, you see, it will print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. Okay, for example, if I give I value 2, for example 2, it will print 1 comma 2. If I give 1 n value, it will print 1. You see, if I give n value is 1, okay, and I value also 1, so it will print 1 time 1. Next year I value is will become 2, 1 plus 1 2. In the very first condition, first time it is a false, because 2 greater than 1, it is false. So it will come out from that loop, but at least it will print one time, right? At least it will print at least one time. It will execute the statement at least one time. That is the features of simple loop, or in C language you can call it as a do while loop. Okay, even the condition is false at very first time, it will print the executable statement, output statement, at least one time. Okay, that is the difference between simple loop and while loop. In the interview you may ask what is the difference between simple loop and while loop. Our answer should be simple loop execute at least one time, even though if the condition is false. But while loop, it does not print anything if the condition is false at very first time. Okay, na? Okay. How to display in single line? Okay, if you want to display all 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if you don't want to print like this, you don't want to print like this. Okay, you want to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that. Then it is the program. Declare number. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Here it will directly take the value. I am not giving it runtime. Exit when I greater than or equal 10. I greater than or equal to. So that's why it does not print 10. You see, greater than 10. If it is the greater than or equal to, if I value is 10, it will come out from that loop. That's why it does not print 10 value. Okay. Next, while loop. Okay. Why it happened means, actually what is the output statement? dbms underscore output dot put underscore line, right? What is the output statement we are using normally? Put underscore line procedure. Put underscore line procedure. But I am writing only put. Put means it will take only the value. Put underscore line means it will give the another line. Okay. Instead of that, just I am using put. Put means it will print the output only. Okay. Next, I am using new underscore line. New underscore line. Okay. So it will give the new line after the execution, after the exit of this loop. Okay, na? Next, while loop. How can we print this? By using while loop. Again, I need two variables. One is for I increment, another one is number, which up to how many numbers I can print. Okay. You see, it will print up to 20. I'm giving n value is 20, so it will print 20 times, because, and it will give, you see, a number of lines. So because I'm using put underscore line, put underscore line. If you want to write down in one line, then use this one. Okay, like here we have. You see. Okay. You see, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we use put function, put procedures, and we have to use this one, new underscore line. Okay, that is the thing. If you want to print in reverse manner, okay, use while condition, like while I greater than or equal to 1. Okay, initially the I value is 10, 10 greater than 1. Okay, so it will print. Next time it will decrease the value, 10 minus 1, 9. So until I is greater than or equal to 1, it will print. Next time 1 minus 1, which is nothing but 0. So 0 greater than or equal to 1, if the condition is false. Okay, you see, reverse order, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 1, 2, 3, like that. If you want to print in one line, same again, use put, after that use new underscore line, like this, put, and next one is new line. It will print in one line. Okay, example for loop. Okay, mostly we are using for loop only in our programs. We are using for loops in real time. Okay, for I, it is a variable. We should use in. Most of the developers or students, they forget to use in. It should be used in. It is lower limit and it is upper limit, and we have to mention it is a loop. That's why it is called simple language, simple English language. Everyone can understand. If we mention loop, any non-IT background employee also, he will understand, oh, it is a loop. But in other our C language, Java language, we did not mention anything. Just we have to write down the code, everything. Okay. There are some jobs in IT jobs which doesn't have coding, like testing and Tableau and this Oracle and SAP. They do not have any coding. Okay, only languages like Java, .NET, Python, they have coding, and tools like Tableau tool, BA tool, SAP, HANA. Okay, these doesn't have much coding. Okay, You see this one. If you are using put underscore line, it will print in line by line, line by line, line by line. If you are using only put and use new line after loop, it will print in one line. Okay. So this is about our class. Tomorrow I will again. Okay. Any doubts for today's class? Okay. So this is about today's session. Any doubt, beta, for today's session?
No, sir.
ईश्वर ईश्वर जी, अनिल जी, संगीता जी, संदीप
No doubts.
और
ये सी लैंग्वेज में पढ़ा है इसलिए इजी रहता है अंडरस्टैंड के
हाँ
लिए।
हाँ, इसीलिए सी लैंग्वेज इज बेसिक है. यू शुड लर्न सी लैंग्वेज. अगर आप सी लैंग्वेज
या
सीखोगे तो आपको एवरी लैंग्वेज इजी हो जाएगा. आपका 60% रिड्यूस हो जाएगा वर्क.
या
अगर आप सी लैंग्वेज सीखोगे